Mystical knowing versus religion, belief. Mystics encounter truth in raw, unfiltered ways, not through man-made laws, creeds, or commandments. The suffix "ment" means of the mind or mental. The mystic experience is the direct path within consciousness. The mystic is not a person sitting on animal skin going into trance. The mystic is one who, whether within the waking dream, the surface experience, meditation, which is the doorway to truth, or the dream of sleep, the collective idea. The mystic is given revelation so deep it ends the delusions of everyday existence. Religion is filled with judgment, otherness, sin, mortality, and practices like prayers and rituals. The mystical is pure insight that shines the inner light, which illuminates the outer, showing its illusion, albeit persistent, its ever-changing aspects, uncovers the veil over its nothingness. The temporary nature is proof of lack of substance. There seems to be continuity of superficiality, but with deeper introspection, cracks in the armor are exposed. Where religion's purpose is to relink and realign one with original consciousness, it has been hijacked to become nothing more than a parody and mimicry of pomp and circumstance. Religion as practiced today is nothing more than scanning the outward realm of appearances in order to present a facade of holiness that never allows one to penetrate in order to reach the deeper realm of truth. This system of belief begets hope, assumptions, opinions, not the confidence gained by a mystical, enigmatic visionary. To the common, mystical conjures up ideas of the supernatural or magical, which are still aspects of the mind. In other words, the realm of psychics and the paranormal, such as ancestral worship, all are mental projections. But truth, as mysticism, is the delight in the revelation of the significance of consciousness. Consciousness supports the arcane, which means only understood and understood by few, because religion's goal is to keep it obscure, undiscovered by cloaking the truth in fear. Religion attributes mystical to poltergeists, ghosts, or specters. The New Age proclaims truth as spiritual. Jesus explicitly warns about the dangers of spirits, calling them unclean and evil. The parable of the empty house. Jesus gives his most detailed warning about spirits by describing what happens when one is delivered from an unclean spirit but does not fill the resulting spiritual void with righteousness. All one need do is look around at all the spiritual practitioners in order to see spirits lead the person wandering through desolate places, seeking but not finding, seeking rest but finding none. They seek refuge in finances, social media pursuits, conferences, Bitcoin, on and on, only to find the spirit has decided to return. The Bible says it brings with it 7 other spirits more wicked than itself. These groups enter the person, and their final state is far worse than the first. The parable warns of the wicked generation that calls itself spiritual. The spiritual teachers and gurus whose teachings merely fill his own mind with deceit, because all of the students, subscribers, parishioners are nothing more than the self-deluding aspects conjured by one's own mind. The mystic, through gnosis, understands the empty space left by the unclean spirits must be filled with the light of purity of consciousness. That is restoration. The mystic understands that authority was given to one as the overcoming by discipline of the labors. Luke chapter 10 verse 19. I have given authority to trample on snakes, the zodiac, and scorpions, carriers of the poisons of ignorance, otherness, and separation. In order to overcome all the illusory power of these enemies, nothing will not harm you. So is the numinous or sublime presence. The mystic is the adept, skilled in understanding the esoteric, specialized knowledge. The mystical refers to a deeper connection, not as the world ego describes in its fantasy stories, but the hidden within mythologies. The mystical is the assertion of phenomenon that is mysterious and not understood by the common experiences of the world ego. Mysticism signifies personal approach to finding union with the sublime and does not involve magical actions. Magic now refers to manipulation of reality. Mysticism sees there is nothing to manipulate, only to be realized as illusion. That the truth is the unseen or mysterious on which illusion has been overlaid. This is why when scientists magnify this fabrication, all they find is the empty space. Magic has been diluted from its pristine meaning of wisdom, and the magician, which once meant wise one, is now one who performs tricks. But if rightly understood, one would understand the magician is aware of the trick or illusion being performed by the mind. The mystic, using insight gained from profound awareness, recognizes illusion as the masking agent overlaying the purity of consciousness. Star pupil is the black eye that symbolizes the completeness of the absolute, defined as the nighttime sky without the projection of stars. So the only presence is the current of gnosis resonating within the mystic. The mystic gains esoteric insight, experienced as ecstasy, and a deeper affinity for harmony. The mystical signals the rapport of individual materialism consciousness, the reflection, contemplation on Christ's material consciousness, the abode of soul, the only presence. Soul is the nexus, a central point, the only point. Anata is means enlightened, and symbolizes the intimacy of this deep connection. The avatar is the righteous heirs and shows the significance and relevance of re-establishing Dharma or righteousness. The temporary personality plays the role of the security received. Padmasambhava, the mere truth, Anatta, and the original status, Avatara, whose resonances are directed towards this artificial intelligence called personality, whose only purpose is representing solution or the new way, known as direct experience or gnosis. Gnosis is the mystical through personal encounter versus the dogma of religious theology and parroting, even in some cases, an imitation of seen behaviors within the group or community delusion. Truth stands as an enigmatic that is mysterious. Truth stands as an enigma that is mysterious and puzzling, even perplexing. Religion serves as a conundrum with no clear solution other than faith, hope, and patience. The waiting for someday. The mystical surge is here now. Christ's material consciousness is no longer unclear or hidden, but stands as the epitome of clarity. While religion's inscrutability gives a quality of being impossible to understand or interpret, needing an outside person who can explain it. But these will always yield the interpretation or reasoning from which it arose. Religion is based on its idea of mythical, such as apocryphal, fabulous, fictitious, and legendary, versus mystical, profound, transcendent, and effable. Presence.